Hi, congratulations on your new RV. We're really excited for you. Please make sure before you're signing that you bring the following items with you. If you're a cash buyer, please make sure that you bring a cashier's check, no personal checks at time of signing, or you may bring actual cash. If you're a finance customer, please make sure that you bring proof of insurance listing your specific lien holder. If you need that information, please call us ahead of time. Also, make sure that you bring all valid driver's license of all persons that will be listed on the title. If you have a trade that you're trading in with us, please make sure that you bring your 10-day payoff as well as your title and all persons who will be listed on the title of that trade. Arrive 30 minutes early before your appointment time so we can properly inspect your unit, and also make sure that you have the fridge on and running prior to arrival. If you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call at 810-686-0710. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
Hello, this is Mike with TradeWinds RV Center, here to congratulate you on your purchase of your Jayco Jayfeather 25 RB travel trailer. I'm going to walk you around it and show you how to use a few things to get the best out of your camping experience. Let's start by talking about arriving at the campsite. A couple things to take into consideration when parking. Leave plenty of room for your awning to come in and out on your campsite. And off your off campsite, leave plenty of room for your slide to come in and out. Then I want you to think about where your power and water connections are going to be. On your back right corner, on your driver's side of your tow vehicle or off camp side of the trailer, will be where your power and your water for campsites hookup are. So park accordingly so you can utilize the facilities at the campsite. Once you arrive and unhook your hitch, first thing you're going to do is level your unit. Now I do recommend getting a stick-on level. On your off camp side, find the center of your unit and put it on there. Now when you're doing this, someone can keep an eye on that and let you know when you're level. Your unit comes with a power tongue jack. Night docking light, should you arrive at night, simply lower or raise the unit to get it level. If you happen to lose power, underneath this rubber stopper is a hole for this hand crank to work in, so you can get this up and down if you don't have power. Speaking of power, check your battery posts now and then, make sure those haven't wiggled loose going down the road. Once we got our unit level, next thing we're going to do is stabilize it. Your unit has, on all four corners, these stabilizing jacks. Run it back up here real quick. I'm going to recommend jack pads. Stabilizing jack pads are going to protect the feet of your stabilizing jacks from dirt and debris and hot blacktop in the summer. Better distribute the weight. Put them on the ground. Use your 10% off coupon. Grab a 4-pack. Put them on the ground, and you're going to run these down just until they're taut. So once you have any type of resistance on your hand crank, that's when you're going to want to stop. Remember, our unit's already level. All we're doing at this point is stabilizing it. Get all four of those down on all four corners. Got our unit level and stable. We can hook up our power and water. In the back corner here is your big long 30 amp cord. The way these new ones go on is they would go into the left, wiggle on, and then turn it to the right to lock it. Spin your washer to lock that in place. Now at the end of that 30 amp, should you need to plug into a 110 somewhere, we have a 30 to 15 amp reducer, so you can plug into a 110. Got your power hooked up, let's hook up our water. At the campsite, you will hook up the city water connection. First and foremost, your water pressure regulator. This water pressure regulator is going to reduce the water pressure to 40 to 50 psi, protecting the lines in your unit. Use this when putting water in here. Hook that up. Hook up your hose, but don't turn our hose on yet. Let's go find your hot water heater. On your unit, your hot water heater is located on the campsite up here toward the front. All we're doing at this point, folks, is putting our drain plug back in. You may have left it out the last time you were camping. This will lift right off here. And draining your hot water heater. Throw some plumber's tape around there, not putty. Putty will gum up on you. Get that in there nice and snug, 1/8" socket. Once that's in there tight, you can go ahead and turn that hose on. Now, if that hose has been on for a little bit, we can go inside now because we've already got our unit level and stable, and we can deploy our slide. But what I want you to do is get inside and open up your water taps. Get all the air out of the lines, get a nice steady flow of water coming through them. Once you got water going through them, go ahead and shut them off, and then you can turn on this hot water heater from indoors. If for some reason your hot water heater doesn't seem to be working, come out here and see if these bubble up. If they do, press them back in. They are a reset. And here's your pressure release valve. So let's say we're going to go camping and we're not going to use city water. We're going to go dry camping, or boondocking as we like to call it. In that case, you're just going to fill up your fresh water tank, or as they like to call it, potable water. No need for a water pressure regulator here. Simply use a hose. Two ways to tell when this is full. One, there's an overflow valve right here. Or two, on the inside where you press your buttons to check your battery and black and gray tanks, there's also a fresh tank button. Don't leave this one filling it up. Once it is full, put your cap back on here. Remove your hose, put your cap back on. And then whenever you want to utilize this water, you turn on your water pump. Don't turn on your water pump when hooked up to city water. That's already pressurized. All right, we're set up with power and water, all ready to camp. Let me go ahead and walk you around to the rest of the outside of the unit. Starting here on the campsite, just to the right of your door, you got a couple outdoor speakers. That's a vent for your microwave. That's access to the back of your fridge for text to get in. This is a flue for your furnace. Two things on this. One, make sure nothing's ever blocking it. Two, don't touch it when you run it. It does get hot. Our fresh water. You're all set up for a TV out here. You can clamp it on right here. A couple of 110s and cable. You have your J-port system with the griddle, and I'll show you how that hooks up. Again, above that, your hot water heater. Stabilizing jacks. There's your J-port system. This is a front docking light. 110 in here in storage. Your propane does come with a cover. Also has a regulator, simply pointing toward the tank you wish to be using. Lefty-loosey to open. On the side here is where you're prepped for solar. You can plug in a solar panel and that'll trickle charge your batteries. On your off campsite storage is your battery disconnect. That will disconnect all the battery power to the unit. We'll talk about that later when we talk about your carbon monoxide propane detector. Back up our off campsite. I want to tell you on your slides, those are for slide toppers. So keep those on there. That is for if you ever get a slide topper on this, that is where the techs need to hook it up at. And your black and gray holding tanks. 2 grays, 1 black. Plug in your cable here at the campsites. Again, your city water and power. This is a black tank flush. We'll talk about that when we dump our black tank when leaving the campsite. Get an outdoor shower with hot and cold water. Spare tire with a cover. You're also prepped for if you're on backup camera. It's a device you can purchase from our store that electronically communicates with this device that sits on the dash of your tow vehicle, giving you a backup camera for the unit. You got a ladder, utilize it. Go up there a couple times a year, check the seams of your roof, and caulk as needed with recommended RV roofing caulk. The outdoor kitchen area holds up by magnets. Electric fridge. Here's all your lighting in here. And you just have a drawer here, area here if you want to put up a portable griddle. And a step light. So you can see coming in there at night. Well, that about covers everything on the outside. Let's go take a look on the inside. First thing I like to point out in every unit is the fire extinguisher. Make sure that you and everyone that's camping with you knows that the fire extinguisher is located at the entry doorway. To the left of that on the floor is your 12-volt carbon monoxide propane detector. Now the reason I mention it's 12 volts, always running off your battery. So if you are out dry camping or boondocking and you are going to be gone for the day, go ahead and use that battery disconnect to keep this from running your battery down while you're gone. This is where a template is, in case you ever decide to get this wired for solar. Our furnace, we'll mess with that in a minute. I'm going to come over to your control panel. So here's where you check your battery. Fresh, black, and gray tanks. Have fresh buttons, one I said you can hold down to tell when your potable water is full. Here's where you turn on your water heater if hooked up to electric. Here, if you're just using gas, it does make a difference. Living room lights, your awning light, Your water pump, that's where you turn that on if you want to use your potable water. Awning and slide out. On your awning, just want to show you, you're going to run this all the way out until your white flap falls down and you can see the brown bar. It will run itself up past that. Got other units in the way to run it out right now, but keep an eye on it when you run it out. Only run it out as far as you need to. Shut off our awning lights. Close my door here and continue on. You got a big closet here. Motion sensor light. To the left in our doorway again is our thermostat. Find our mode and turn that on. There's cool. There's your AC kicking on. Which also you can put really quick down. So shut that off. Alright, there's your AC off. Now when I go, you just gotta hold this button in to get to come on and then pick through. Now I'm gonna turn the heat on. Gotta turn it up to get it to kick on here. But what I want to show you, there goes your furnace. Kicked on. Now I'm gonna shut the furnace off. Most units, it takes a few minutes longer for the furnace fan to cycle through and shut off than it does the AC unit. In here you got a 32-inch Insignia TV going to be mounted. When you get to the campsite, before you run your digital channel scan, make sure this green button is on. That's a digital channel enhancer and it'll allow you to pick up more channels. Over here, IRV's technology sound system. Not going to pick up much in this metal building, but dual zone. Shut it off indoors, just have it on outdoors, or both. Shut them off, turn them on. Bluetooth compatible, AM, FM, auxiliary. Really nice system. Continuing on, you have a air vent up here that you can crank open. Furion fridge controls are right there. Self-explanatory microwave. You got a fan and a light. Your cooktop. This glass top makes an excellent backsplash. You got a panel light. Rock that up. Turn this. It'll turn to red when your gas is on. Hit your spark. When your gas is turned on, you'll get your flame there. Same thing with the oven. Turn this to the light mode. Spark it here. And then set it to the desired temperature. No need for a pilot light anymore. Rock that panel light down and it becomes an oven light. A lot of one-touch lighting throughout the unit. Power port, you can store that away. Kitchen extension. Lift that up and pull these arms down. A little easier with two hands. If I can get it put down, there we go. You can fold that away so you can get access to your breaker box and fuses. Ton of 15s down there. Highly recommend having a handful of those with you when you go camping. Continuing on into the bedroom, you do have a hand crank open power exhaust vent in here. Accent lighting for back behind. USB port and 110 on both sides. Of course, with all Jaycos, storage under here. You also have these tabletops that you can put on. See if we can get one of those out. Carry this into the kitchen. The only other thing I want to mention into the bedroom is you are prepped for a TV back here. There's your backer and cable 110. On your dinette here, this table will lift up. These legs will come out. Set that table on these lips. Put your back cushions on top. Gives you another sleeping quarters. Your recliners are a parachute pull. Reach down to your right, pull up on that, and that'll give you your recliner. Leg push to put back down. And then in your cup holders, these little tables will fit. Get snapped in there, and that gives you a little, there we go. Gives you a little eating area. More lighting here. In your bathroom, one thing I really want to touch on is your door. Make sure that this is bungeed open for travel. You have 110 with GFCI reset in here. Exhaust fan. Well, that about covers everything on the inside. Let's act like we're getting ready to leave the campsite and close the unit up. You turn your tabletops down here, push this down. My first step is securing everything. Walk through the unit, make sure all windows are closed, etc. I like to shut off my living room lights, and then I can see any individual lighting that I need to shut off that is not part of the control panel. Lastly, this one and our oven light. Now that it's nice and dark in here, come back to your control panel and turn on your living room lights. At this point, I'm going to say doors and drawers. Make sure all doors and drawers are closed. Nothing's going to impede your slide from coming in. Simply hit retract. Now you notice the bottom shifts in first. It does on all because that's where the slide mechanism is. But as it comes in, they all straighten themselves out. Make sure the table extension is down. You see how close that gets to that. Shut off our living room lights and exit the unit. Now the most important thing you have to remember on these steps is to make sure this door is all the way open. Otherwise this could catch on it going up. Simply lift it up, set it inside, lock it here. Lock and deadbolt your exterior door. Lift to turn your handle. At this point, we are going to unhook our cable, our water, and our power. Hook up our hitch and head on up to the dump station. At the dump station, park accordingly. Your dump is going to be all the way at the rear of the unit on your driver's side of your tow vehicle. 10-foot hose comes with your convenience pack. Hook that hose up, and the first thing we're going to pull is that black handle. That's the handle on the right. Once that sounds empty, you can go inside, open up your door, and press your black tank and see if it is empty. If it is, leave that black handle open. Take the hose at the dump station, again with your water pressure regulator. Hook that up to your tank flush. Turn that on, again with your black handle open, and let that run for a good 5 minutes. That's going to wash all the nastiness out of your black tank. Once that's done, shut that hose off. Come down here, make sure all that washout that you just put in there has drained. Once it is, close your black. Pull your first gray handle. Once that one's empty, close that handle. Pull your second gray handle. Now these are going to be all cleaner waters, your sinks and your showers, and that'll clean your sewage hose out for you. Then you can conveniently and sanitarily store your sewage hose right in your bumper. While you're at the dump station, go ahead and dump this low point drain. So turn that nozzle and get all that draining out. Once that's drained, we're going to come around to our hot water heater. We are going to lift up on this pressure release valve. That's going to dump the remainder of your hot water out of there. Make sure that's back down, otherwise your door won't go back on. And then you can pull this drain. I'll put this panel back on, and the last thing I'm going to show you is how to hook up your J-port. Here's our J-port hole. There's two things to go on it. Pretty simple. Grab this long bar, high end up. Slide her in there. Grab your table. And the only important thing to remember on this table is that you have the LP connect toward the unit. That way your quick connect LP will be able to reach over there. Again, we thank you guys so much for your purchase. Hope you enjoy this Jayfeather for many years to come. Happy camping.